Welcome back to AM Northwest. It's a documentary short with an Oregon connection that's just been shortlisted for an Oscar nomination. Classroom 4 shares the inspiring story of a Lewis and Clark College professor teaching students both free and incarcerated inside a local prison and the power their connection creates.
The goal of this dialogue is not to persuade or convince or debate. Okay, the goal of this dialogue is to listen deeply to each person's experience.
The cruel reality is that we're stuffed in little areas and we live out our days like that.
There's a great deal of desensitization that comes with doing time, and it starts to take effect after a while.
For the next minute, just write down some reactions to that quote. However you want. You write full sentences, single words, stream of consciousness, circles and arrows.
Mercy is most powerful when it's given to the undeserving, and it breaks the cycle of victimhood and victimization, and that was just such a powerful line to me.
We welcome the director of Classroom 4, Erin Wurmfeld. Good to have you with us, Erin. Tell us about, first of all, your connection with the teacher.
Thank you for that question. Dr. Hillier and I met when we were 11 years old in 7th grade. So I have been learning from her and alongside her really my whole life. When she did the training for this Inside Out prison exchange, which is what allows college level professors to teach inside in this model of teaching half incarcerated students and half students from their university or college. She would tell me in detail about it. And in the spring of 2023, we got permission from the local prison, Columbia River Correctional, to document what was happening in her classroom.
And you've got
that is what became Classroom 4.
Yeah, you have 15 students who are inside, you call them the inside students, 15 students who are outside, the ones that taking her class, essentially outside. And you really learn a lot. What stands out to you when you look at the film, when you were watching the film, when you were shooting it? There's a lot that goes on between the inside and outside students, despite coming from two very different worlds.
I think what was so remarkable to me was how everybody was nervous on the first day,
Yeah.
and maybe for very different reasons. And I had this experience as somebody who had never been inside a prison. I was scared. I didn't know what to expect. And we all collectively went on this journey together, where the discomfort faded away and walls came down, and we forged relationships and understanding that exceeded my wildest expectations of what would be possible. And I really attribute that to the incredible teaching of Dr. Hillier. And this film is as much about the encounter of these two very unlikely groups of people coming together and getting to know one another and learning from each other and with each other, but also I consider the film a celebration of incredible teaching and how that can change lives.
You saw the energy was charged between everyone as they got to know each other. Like what I thought was so interesting, two people who look completely different, seem like they're completely different, and they connect on books they read as kids.
I know, that blew my mind.
Yeah.
It just really blew my mind. And what a fantastic prompt,
right,
for an icebreaker. You know, I think we all, I mean, I can't speak for everyone, but many of us have preconceived notions of who might be inside a prison or why. And often we're not thinking about what was your favorite toy,
right,
or book as a child. You know, I mean, all these people grew up too,
yeah,
and had childhoods and had families.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I think that the way in which this encounter is just incredibly humanizing for everyone. I think preconceived notions about who the college students would be for the incarcerated students and who the incarcerated students might be for the college students, all these preconceived ideas really fell away.
Something that strikes me particularly is how one inside student was talking about how, he was talking to the outside student saying, in here, actually, I feel safe, then I don't want to go out there. You were talking about you want to get rid of the prison system, but I feel safer in the prison system, which was an interesting concept to talk about, because once he goes outside, he doesn't feel like he could control himself. Inside, he is controlled, which is a fascinating, it's not what you would have thought you would have heard.
Right. And I think one of the outside students actually comments on that.
Yeah.
She says she had imagined that when they had a conversation, when the curriculum reached the part about prison abolition, she expected all the inside students to say, get rid of all prisons.
Yeah.
And that wasn't what they were hearing. But I think that what's interesting that comes out of that conversation is that maybe prison is providing structure and rehab that individual really needed, and that there might be other ways for our society and culture to provide that other than incarceration.
Right. And education seems to me to be key for all of the inside students, all of the prisoners. If they had received education growing up and the ability and the opportunities, they might not have ended up where they ended up. All of them seem to have lacked education at some point.
I mean, I think what I found was that all the inside students talked about coming from very challenging upbringings, not having what they needed.
Yeah, oftentimes abused or neglected.
And I think that our society isn't necessarily set up to provide support when a family of origin isn't able to provide it.
Yeah. What do you think about
Which,
being on the your film being on the short list for Oscar nomination?
we're so excited.
Yeah.
It really has exceeded all our expectations and dreams of what this movie might be. We world premiered at Aspen Shorts Fest in April, and it's just been an incredible journey. So we're thrilled. And the next big hurdle is in January, where it goes from 15 to 5 films. So we'll see what happens.
We want to tell everyone Classroom 4 is streaming now at pov.org and on the PBS app. We'll have a link on our website at k2.com.